Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and this is the match review from yesterday's game. If you do like what you see, please don't forget to smash that like. It does help the channel up the search, so please do give it a like. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Come be part of this great community we have here. And also that bell notification, that tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. Also, if you want to become a member, it's 99p. You can do that by clicking the join button. And if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by clicking on the $sign as well. So thank you very much indeed. Right, get that off. There we go. So yes, yesterday I was going to do a pre-match, but I was out and I didn't get back till late. So unfortunately, I couldn't get back in time to do the pre-match. So I do apologise that I didn't do that yesterday. But look. We went to Nottingham Forest yesterday. There was a change made to the lineup. Obviously Gordon was fit again. Wilson started. So Jacob Murphy went on the bench and Almiron went back to the right-hand side. Before we get into it, let's get into comments first of all. Holly straight in, she says, what a fantastic battling team performance. The unity in the squad is brilliant. I wish all the critics would lay off Dan Burn. Any issues in defence are not solely on his shoulders. Yeah, but again, it's the pace, isn't it? That's the problem. Crin says, evening folks, evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Evening everybody, hope you're all well. Yeah, absolutely, Mad Mag. Absolutely fine, mate. Hope you're well too. Julie says, good evening everyone. Good evening, Julie. Hope you're well. Evening, everybody. Good evening to you, David. BS says evening, Tony. All evening to you, mate. Hope you're well. Derek says evening, all. Good evening to you, Derek. Hope you're well. David says hi, Tony. Only one thing to say, Bruno, what a player. Absolutely. And do you know what? We'll be talking about him. I mean, I've seen plenty of debates going around this. I saw Charlie Bennett put one on the Bruno versus Johan Kabay. Bruno's miles ahead of Johan Kabay. Yeah, he probably is, actually, to be fair. Although Johan Kabay was a good player for us. Okay, the way he left didn't sort of go well. But again, you've got to remember, that was under the previous ownership. So we lost many a good player under them. Mikel Merino was another one we lost, So if this ownership had been there when Johan Kabay was there, then I don't think there would have been any issues with Kabay leaving at all. Holly says Bruno was outstanding yesterday. Yes, he was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely. Kabay's not in Bruno's league. No, he's not. Absolutely not by a stretch of imagination. But at the time, the ownership that we had, Derek, at that time, he was brilliant for us. But obviously, he's nowhere near Bruno's level. Absolutely not. But as I say, back then, he was, he was one of our best players back then. But obviously, it's a totally different team now. And obviously, Bruno, it's just an absolute snip what we've bought him for, 40 million quid. Let's talk about Bruno. Absolutely, everybody wants to talk about Bruno, don't they? And rightly so. I mean, look, I did see it would probably be I thought it would be a bit of a tough game yesterday. I didn't think it would be quite as tough because, look, Forest have played well in patches against other sides. Arsenal went there and just won 2-1. They won by the odd goal when Arsenal probably should have hammered them, in all honesty. But, it was just one of those games that was just going to be, we knew Elanga was going to be on the side of where Burn was. We knew that was going to happen. Because that's what these managers are doing. But then, we should have the players to get back and help Dan Burn as well. So it's not like you can't just pin it all on Dan Burn. There is other players there who should be there to help him out as well. Two more comments come in. Johan was superb for us. Yeah, he was, absolutely, Derek. Don't know how Gibbs White didn't get a second yellow. The ref was shocking. Anthony Taylor, well, yeah, didn't cover himself in glory at all, did he? I mean, look, let's get into the match. I mean, we started off the match well. We were attacking Forest. And I mean, I think it was only a few minutes into the game. I mean, Gibbs White had that shot which went past the post, didn't he? Should he have scored? Maybe. He went for placement more than power, I think. And that's what did him. But we looked fairly comfortable. If I'm honest. As I say, we started the game off quite well. And then obviously we went ahead. So it was a well-worked corner. Obviously we had a corner from the opposite side, came in from the goalkeeper's right. That came in. He tipped it over the bar cells. Our ex-goalkeeper, of course, went out for the corner on the other side. Almiron took the short corner to Trippier. And then Kieran Trippier puts in a beautiful cross, inch perfect. And who was there on the volley? And there was Bruno. And that was it. It was straight in. And it was we were 1-0 up. I thought he took the goals superbly well. He was standing on the edge of the box with his hands on his hips, looking like he wasn't interested, wasn't part of the play. And, you know, even said after the game, Bruno even called him Mad Dog, Jason Tyndall. He says, Mad Dog's been doing this routine all week with us. And do you know what? It paid off. And it was the perfect training ground move. And what a stunning volley. Because that's not an easy goal to score, let's be honest. You know, it's not an easy goal because you've got to control it as well. And so for him to do it that way, it was absolutely fantastic. And that set us away 1-0 up, and you're thinking, right, okay, let's take this to Forest. Let's give them it, you know. Like I said, we had chances to go further ahead. Because for that first 25 minutes, we were on top. We were dominant in that team. We were dominant in that game. You know, we could have done with getting the second, if I'm honest. But on 26 minutes, there's a through ball from Gibbs White, straight to Elanga. He runs from the side of Burn. He runs into between Burn and Botman, gets the ball, and Dubravka comes flying out of his goal through his legs. And it's straight in the back of the net. I absolutely criticised Dubravka for that as well, because he should have made himself a little bit better. He should have done better than that. I would have thought he could have stayed back a touch more maybe and then come out. But to come out the way he did, legs open, Elanga knows exactly where he's going to put it. He ain't going to miss. And sure enough, it was 1-1. You know, but we saw again, Elanga has got pace. He's very quick. And you look at Elanga and you think, do you know what, for 15 million quid, Forest got a bargain there from Man United. I don't know why Man U sold him so cheap. But, you know, he gets the goal. And then that's like a sucker punch, and you're thinking, right, come on. You know, this is Forest. We shouldn't be being held by them. But it was a deserved equaliser for Forest, and, you know, well-worked goal, and we can't see anything about it. But we did probe. We still went for goal. We went for chances. And then on 43 minutes, the ball comes over. And who was there? Fabian Schär into the back of the net. And he makes it 2-1 to us. Another fantastic goal from Schär. He's on fire in front of goal at the minute. I would rather play him up front than Callum Wilson, if I'm honest. But yeah, Schär, I thought, what a great, nice finish it was from Fabian. And you're thinking, right, 2 minutes before half time, this is perfect, you know. Get this and the injury time over with. Get into the second half, will be 2-1 up at half time. And everything will be rosy. And it was far from it, was it? To be fair. So we had 5 minutes of injury time, and right on that 5 minutes, just before the whistle was due to go, Callum Hudson-Odoi gets the ball on the edge of the box, fires in a shot that takes a deflection off Lewis Miley. It's unfortunate it takes a deflection off Miley, which wrong foots Dubravka. It's in the back of the net and it's 2-2. And then the whistle goes and you think, damn, right, okay. So they've equalised again, you know. You could say it was fortuitous, but it was a good shot, you know. And I look at Callum Hudson-Odoi and I think, is he getting back to the Hudson-Odoi of all that we know he can be? And the answer is, I think he is. And again, is that another good buy? 3 million quid. You know, it's not bad at all, is it? So you think you've got a pair of wingers there for 18 million quid who've both scored for Forest, and are not bad players either. But yeah, so you know, we're going to 2-2, and you're thinking, surely, come on, we've got to get better than this. We've got to get better than this. We've got to come out in the second half, and we've got to take this game to Forest, and we've got to, you know, at least score at least another 2 goals, at least, because Matt Sells in goal, I don't think we tested him enough, if I'm honest. I can't remember that he made many saves in that first half, if I'm honest, apart from the one he tipped over the bar for the corner when it was coming in. But other than that, I didn't think he was that great, if I'm honest, but I thought we could have tested him a lot more as well. Before we get into the second half, let's just nip into some comments here and see who's in the chat as well. Ian says, evening, Tony. What happened to preview show? Yeah, I was going to do a pre-match, Ian, and I was out yesterday and I didn't get back till late, so I couldn't do it, mate. Sorry, I didn't get back till late. I even had to sit in the car watching the match on Sky Go while I was sitting in the car. So I was even, you know, I didn't get home till like 5:45. Evening, Tony, and everyone says 12th man tune. Good evening to you. Because I was in Stevenage, that's why. The Yates challenge on share was disgusting. Angle breaker, we've seen reds for them. Yeah, we have, yeah, absolutely. And I was surprised he didn't get anything for that. Derek says, Bruno said our midfield was again invisible. Yes, it was. Yeah. I mean, look, Sean Longstaff brought a save, didn't he, in the first half as well? I forgot out of cells when he had that shot. But yeah, other than that, not a lot. Lee says, evening, Tony and all, great result. Bruno goals, outstanding share as well. Yeah, absolutely. Derek says, as soon as Miggy took the corner, you knew it was coming off the training pitch. Trips takes everything, as we know. Yeah, he does, absolutely. And look, this is a bit of a carbon copy of the goal last season, if you remember, against Brentford, when Almiron done that short corner to Trippier, and he crossed the ball, and this time Bruno headed it, didn't he? So it was a bit of a carbon copy to that, wasn't it? Paul says, evening, Tony. Bruno was brilliant man the match. Yeah, definitely. We'll be getting to that soon. The pundits on Sky says Bruno's goal was taking the safest finish. Yes, I heard that from that Izzy Christiansen. Look, how can it be a safe finish? It was one hell of a goal. I mean, look, I'll tell you what, anybody out there go and try and score a goal like that. It takes a lot of skill, and it isn't easy. Ronald says Bruno's magnificent. The Placky Man U fans got triggered on more official YouTube by the killer saying there's only one Bruno Dylams. Derek says we always need a second at the minute until late last season when if we scored a win was virtually guaranteed. Yes, it was, Derek, absolutely. And it's the way our defence is. I just don't know what's gone wrong with our defence this season. I really don't. Blair Shire at 6, we've got loads of centre-backs. Do you know what? I would love to. But I've heard people saying that Eddie does not like a number 6, apparently. Eddie doesn't like a DM. So if Eddie doesn't like a DM, I don't think we're ever going to see a DM in that side. Ronald says Dubravka's legs was right as open as Heather Mills putting a prosthetic leg on the bedside table. Oh, Jesus, Ronald. Yeah. Well, we know what you mean, yeah. Ronald says Bruno's first goal was marvellous. The second wasn't bad neither. Didn't Dan Burn do well blocking off and now? Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to get onto that now in the second half. I mean, look, the second half Forest came at us after the break. I mean, look, the way Forest were, they were attacking us. One he got the ball, went through. The shot he put in the back of the net, what a ferocious shot that was. One hell of a goal. Thankfully, it was offside for us. And he was offside as well. So I don't even think VAR looked at it because it was well offside. But obviously the linesman's got to do the duty in keeping the flag down until the move's finished. Or unless Dubravka saves it and then it calls up the flag. But look, it was a devastating finish. One year looked absolute beast yesterday. I mean, he's well built, isn't he, as such? 62 minutes, again, long ball from Sells. Ball put off field, totally bypassed everybody. You could say it was like a bit of Route 1 football, straight onto the path of Iwanyi, who battled with Botman, trying to get over Dubravka. He went down looking for a penalty. VAR said no penalty. Now, one thing I'm going to say is, if you look at that from yesterday with Iwanyi and Dubravka. Now, when the ball's initially played, if you look at where Anthony Taylor is, he's nowhere near up with play, and he can't keep up with play. That's the problem, first of all. So Anthony Taylor couldn't keep up with play. So Iwanyi goes through. Yes, okay, you can see he makes a bit of a mess of it, but then he's got Botman going at him, and then he's trying to dink it over the keeper. If Anthony Taylor was closer, does he give a penalty? We're not sure, but if he did give a penalty, then obviously VAR probably wouldn't overturn it because it would say it's not clear and obvious. I mean, the guy on VAR, fantastic guys from Hartlepool, Tony Harrington. So looking after the North East. Thank you very much, Mr. Harrington. But yeah, look, there's a couple of things right now. I look at this and I think Forest were robbed of a penalty, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because if you haven't seen it, or go back and watch it, just watch it. Because I was so pleased when VAR didn't overturn this and asked the referee to go and check it, to be fair. So as Iwanyi's gone through, what Iwanyi's trying to do is, because he knows the ball's gone beyond Dubravka, what he's thinking is, well, what I'll do is I'll leap over his arm, because his arms will be on the ground. I'll leap over that and he'll get the ball, and he probably gets in and he probably scores. So as he's tried to jump over to Dubravka, what Dubravka's done is he's put his arm up. So his arm's there. Yes, okay, he's made contact when he's gone into his arm, but that's what Dubravka's done. He's put his arm up, and if you watch it, he does purposely put his arm up to stop him going over. So that's why it was a penalty all day, and it was a Stonewall penalty. Now, I've seen a lot of Newcastle fans on Twitter saying that was never that they were glad that was never put in for a penalty because it was never a penalty all day long. And I'm like, well, actually, it was if you look at it, because if that was us, if that was, say, Callum Wilson that had gone through and been foul like that, and we didn't get that penalty, would we be happy? No, absolutely not. We would be fuming. We would be shouting, come on, come on, come on. That's a penalty all day. So I can understand why Nuno Espirito Santo is not happy with it. I can understand why the Forest fans are upset. And I can see it from everybody's point of view. Sometimes you get the rub of the green. But as I say, go back, have a look at it, and you see Dubravka lifts his arm. And that's why Iwanyi goes into his arm. Or else he would have gone over the top of his arms and he possibly scores. Who knows? But if that was us, we would be shouting penalty all day. But look, didn't get given, and we breathed a sigh of relief because I was panicking, thinking, "Oh God, this is going to get overturned." I can see him go to the monitor, and I can see Taylor giving this because look, Taylor, it's not. Let's be honest, he's supposed to be this great referee. I think since Euro 2020, I think Anthony Taylor as a referee has gone downhill dramatically. If I'm honest, he's never been he's just never been one of those great referees. And that's the reason why VAR didn't overturn it, because they didn't think it was a clear and obvious error from the referee. But as I say, the referee was nowhere near the place, so how he can't tell if it's a penalty or not. That's why he's got to say no penalty. But anyway, not long after that, Dan Burns up front, and I'm shouting, "What the hell's he doing up front?" Because Forrest I thought if Forrest get this ball upfield, Burns up front, what's he doing down in their box? He should be, getting back. Thankfully, that pass was misplaced, and it went into the path of Bruno, who then strolled a few yards, had a shot into the back of the net. What a beautiful goal from Bruno, by the way. He took it really, really well, to put us 3-2 up, and cue the celebration from Bruno. Great goal, absolutely fantastic, brilliant finish, lovely execution on it. I think this is what he's been trying to do for a while when he's been shooting. He's been trying to get these goals, but they haven't been coming off. But finally, he's just hit form at the right time. And, if you don't succeed at first, you just try again. And that's what Bruno's done. And he's kept trying. And eventually, one's gone in. And this one's got in for him as well. So, perfect goal from Bruno yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. Puts us 3-2 up. Forrest made a lot of changes and brought on a lot of attacking players, which I thought, and I thought, right, come on, Eddie, let's go to a back five here. Let's just tighten up this game. Let's go to a back five. Let's throw Tino on it, left back, and push Dan into centre half. So you've got, and have a back five and just stifle Forrest like we did against Fulham. But it was after 80 minutes when obviously Tino came on. But to be honest with you, Forrest threatened. They had chances, but they didn't score. And then we win the match 3-2, which is absolutely fantastic, and a great 3 points, because it's the 3 points we needed, which pushes us up into 7th place. So I'm just going to nip into some comments. Bia says, we saw Trippier moving into midfield alongside Miley and Bruno pushing forward. Yeah. Ronald says, Howie, though, our plan was Tonali and Bruno rotating places in midfield, and it would have worked minus injuries. It's unfair that we lost Tonali, really, because it's nothing to do with us, with the fella. It isn't, Ronald. What the problem is, because the Italians asked FIFA to ban him worldwide, and that's the problem. It's one of those things, but you'll come back better and stronger next season, I tell you now. Penalty all day, says Derek. VAR, or at least now less karma. Yeah, absolutely. The orders, big style. And that was the rub of the green we needed. Because I was really panicking. I thought they're going to give this. But thankfully they didn't. Julie doesn't think it was a penalty. What a great win. Bruno played well. Yeah, absolutely, Trevor, and hope you're well, mate. Julie says, can understand Forrest's frustrations, but Dubravka went for the ball. Actually, if you watch it though, Julie, he was very clever, Dubravka, because what he done was that he thought, I'll get away with this. He put his arm up. And that's what he did to stop. He put his arm up to stop a one-knee getting over him to get to the ball, because a one-knee would have had the empty net to stroll into. Ronald says, it wasn't a penalty, man. If it's happened to us, I'm saying out. Oh, I don't know, Ronald. I think if it happened to us, I think it'd be up now. If that was a decision, say, for instance, say we're fighting for 4th place at the end of the season. I'm not saying we're going to get into the top 4, but I'll say, right, I'll tell you what if that was, right, say we are winning say it's a title running. We need 3 points to win this game, to win the league, right? And we know that's a penalty, but we get denied it by VAR. Are you saying to me, Ronald, that you wouldn't see anything if we lost the title because we didn't get that win? You would be fuming. Because I would be fuming, because I'd be thinking we should have our hands on that trophy. That's being dragged away from us, you know? That's what I'm saying. These decisions are key, you know? Or if it was, you know, for something to get us into Europe and we missed out on Europe by, say, 1 point or 2 points because we didn't get that win. So, yeah. BS says Anthony Taylor's refereeing was atrocious, should be retired. Terrible referee. I wouldn't grumble if it was us, if it wasn't a penalty in a million years, in my opinion, says Mad Mag. It's fair enough. Not a penalty for me, but he knew he had lost the ball and then brought the contact. What you think of the blue card coming into a joke? Well, they're supposed to be going to bring it into the FA Cup and the Women's FA Cup next season. But I think it's been in the Women's National League because our women won today. They beat Burnley 3-0, by the way. Well done to the Newcastle women. Because that is a massive result. Because Burnley got a game in hand over us, but we are now 11 points ahead of Burnley and 7 points ahead of Forest, who have got a game in hand because they played in the FA Cup today. 8 games to go for the women. Technically, unless they implode, which I can't see happening, promotion to the Championship for next season is now definitely on. We'll not get too carried away because there's 8 games to go, but I expect the women will win these, and they will be in the Championship next season, which is a tremendous achievement considering where the women's team were before these owners came in. But what I'm getting back to the women's game on your blue card is they're using it in there, because I know I looked on the text on the Newcastle United women's Twitter page and said somebody from Burnley was sitting on the sin bin. But what I will say about the sin bin thing as well is I don't agree with it in a way, because are players going to pick up more muscle injuries by not playing for 10 minutes unless they do what they have in rugby, where if they go sin bin, what they do is have an exercise bike on the side of the pitch and they keep pedaling so they can keep their muscles going, ready for when they have to come back on. So maybe that's how they'll get around it. How was Ryan Yates not even carded though? Should have not been on the pitch. No, shouldn't have been. That was a bad tackle and he should have been off. But again, VAR said it wasn't a clear and obvious error from Anthony Taylor. That's the problem. Blue card should be used for referees' bad decisions. Yes, Julie. Alan says, good evening, Tony. Win big 3 points, definitely in contention for 6th or 7th, maybe better. Just need to keep winning. Bruno hinted in an interview how important European football is. Keeping them is a must. Yeah, absolutely. Our owners want European football as well. Man United winning today hasn't helped us in some ways, because I would have liked that game to either be a Villa win or a draw. But Man U to win, that just pushes them a little bit further ahead in 6th. West Ham imploded by getting absolutely mullered 6-0 today, and possibly should have been more. Yeah. And as for Bruno, yeah, he hinted that last night. He says, you know, if we're in Europe, he's here, isn't he? I thought it was a very good interview from Bruno last night. And he said the only reason he's sticking his fingers in his ears, it's not at the fans, it's at the media to say, I'm not listening to what you've got to say outside of that. So, yeah, well done, Bruno. 1-1 in the African Nations Cup. Could be a penalty shootout, that then. Andrew says, never a pen. It is a pen, Andrew, if you look at it, mate. Honestly, it is. If you look at it, the way Dubravka puts his arm up, and I think Dubravka done that just in the hope that it wouldn't be given against him. Because let's just say, that one was definitely a pen, not like the one at Anfield when Jota got it. So that maybe is even, that's where it's probably evened up. Lee says, dirty Forest players going in with the studs could have done some damage badly. Absolutely. It's a joke. A blue card, it could cost teams if they have 2 or 3 players in the sin bin. Yeah. Bias says, 1B brought in, it's been retracted. Has it? Well, they used it today in the women's game. Craig says, got to say, they kind of say they needed, if as they say they can't need a 6, then let Bruno go further up after yesterday. Yeah, you got to play Bruno in that advanced role. Ronald says, Voss said Yates' tackle on Cher was accidental. No, it wasn't accidental. He knew what he was doing. Evening, everyone. How is everyone? Very well, Gary. How are you, mate? Bequet, I need to leave West Ham and join his mate out the tune, says Julie. Mad Max is like, it was only a matter of time before the wheels started to wobble on the Villa bus. Yeah, you can see it, can't you? And who happens to come off the bench from Man U? McTominay, and score the winner with a header. I mean, it was a good header. Don't take it away from him, you know. I watched the game. Villa just had chances, but it just couldn't bury it. Couldn't bury them. Julie says, with Man U, they're better with Casemiro and Eriksen back. Even Harry Slaphead had a good game. Yeah, do you know what? He had a good game today. I mean, look, he was up above. I mean, after the first header he won against Kamara, he thought, right, Villa would change who they put on him, but they put Kamara on him again, and the next time, Highland scores. And then he kept winning these headers, but they kept putting the same player on him. So that's bad management. If you want to stop Harry Maguire winning them headers, you've got to put somebody on there that's going to keep up with them or get up with them, but don't keep putting a player on there. That's not doing his job, you know. Julie says Villa were always going to crumble. Yeah, they were. I mean, look. Yeah, they were. They were, absolutely. I mean, yesterday, look, some players didn't play well yesterday, let's be honest. Look, I don't like to single out players. But Miggy Almiron, I thought he was non-existent apart from that short corner he took. He lost the ball in the first half, which actually led to Forest's equaliser. Look, he didn't have his greatest game yesterday. Jacob Murphy apparently couldn't play because he felt his calf in the warm-up, so he just stayed on the bench. For me, against Bournemouth, I'm sorry, Miggy goes on the bench and you start Murphy if he's fully fit. Or you start Barnes and you put Gordon on the right. But for me, Miggy had a terrible game yesterday. And so did this fella as well, Callum Wilson. I didn't think he had the greatest game yesterday either, let's be honest. He's got a lot of frustrations as well. And it looks like he's picked up yet another injury. Look, this guy's been great for us, but in the summer, we have to sell him in the summer, get something for him in the summer, and bring somebody else in. Look, he's been great for us, but he's obviously fragile as heck now. I say in the summer, he has to be sold, unfortunately. But as long as we've got a replacement, I'm sure we'll get a replacement in the summer for him, no problem. But definitely has to. Gary says, did you notice when Chips played in front of the back three with Miley, we controlled the game when Eddie pushed him wide and forward, Forrest came right into it. Yeah. He did. Julie says, Miggy, not the same this season. I don't think he's been the same since the January window when we were linked to selling him and he didn't want to go. Now there's talk that Miggy actually wants to go back to Atlanta in the summer. But then are Atlanta going to actually want to take him back? And this is the question. Can they afford to take him back? But then I'm sure if he wants to go back to Atlanta United in the States, then I'm sure we could do a deal with Atlanta. Because there is a player at Atlanta that I would definitely take for Newcastle United. And he's an Argentinian 22-year-old midfielder called Thiago Almada. He's worth 29 million euros, but again, we can do some sort of deal. He started 33 games out of 33 this season. He's got 12 goals and 16 assists. Yes, we know that's MLS, but the guy's 22, so he's got a long way to go before he hits his peak. I think will be a terrific signing for us. I really do. And I would love to see him at Newcastle United. Now, whether he would be at Newcastle, who knows? But again, it's somebody I'd like to see, and I think he could do a decent job for us. Yes, as I say, the stats are that it's in the MLS. He's got no weaknesses, but his strengths are his consistency, his playmaking, and his ball control, and he's attacking midfielder as well. And I don't mean this any disrespect to Sean Longstaff, who I think's been great for us, but I think in the summer we sell Longstaff, and because you make 100% profit on Longstaff, and he's only got a year left on his deal, and I think if Miggy wants to go back to Atlanta, I should say, sorry, not Atlanta, Atlanta's in Italy, Atlanta United. I think if Miggy goes back there, we could do a deal with them to bring Almada in, maybe a player, part exchange sort of thing. So much for Almiron, plus pay something for them for Almada, and I think that would be a terrific signing, Needs Grealish to insult him again. Yeah, he does. Callum Wilson's lost some pace. Yes, he has, Julie. I didn't think he looked... yesterday, to me, just didn't look happy. And he just doesn't look happy. I mean, I think it was when Cher scored, he didn't even come over to celebrate. And I was a bit like, well, what? Where's Wilson, Ronald says, we exposed Villa totally, but didn't get the plaudits Man U have got. Villa had more chances against Newton Heath and were not ruthless. Absolutely, Ronald. They should have won that game, Villa. Really should have. I think Wilson's lost a yard of pace, as David. Foxy says, on the initial view, it looked like a pen, but with a closer view, it's not a pen. One he's very clearly kicked the Bravka's armpit, then went down. Shearer said it was a pen as well. I think Wilson's had no service. He hasn't, but does Wilson offer a lot though? That's the thing. I'm just not sure with Wilson at the minute. I know he's just come back from an injury, but to me, he just didn't look happy. Don't know. Maybe he knows he's on his way out of Newcastle in the summer. Who knows? Anne says offer Wilson plus money for Tony if Wilson has to leave. Do we want Ivan Toney back though? That's the thing. I wouldn't take him back. In all honesty, I wouldn't. I'm sure there's better strikers out there we could go for. I wouldn't take Tony's changing rooms to disrupt that egomaniac. Exactly. He hasn't got the right attitude. Do we know if Isak is fit to play against Bournemouth? Again, David, we're not sure. Eddie doesn't know how serious Callum Wilson's injury could be. So if Callum Wilson's out that game, Anthony Gordon will be playing up front as a striker next weekend. Be fair, centre-half played well against Callum by nicking in. He did, Ronald, yeah. Julie says Tony wouldn't come back. Mitrovic, we should have got him, yeah. Alan says it will cause a temperament, not ability. The only reason not to want Tony. Yeah. Gary says, I was impressed with Forest. Santo builds very good teams. Underrated manager. Yes, he does, Gary, absolutely. They've got a lot to do to stay up. But that Giovanni Reina they've got, I like him. I think he's a good player. He came on against us for Borussia Dortmund at St James's Park. His dad weren't a bad player either, Claudio Reina. But Giovanni Reina, what a player he is. And okay, he's not getting the game time with Dortmund. And I think if he finds his feet in the Premier League, he could be a very good player. And I think there may be a few Premier League teams looking at him for next season, maybe. 7th place Europe and 8th Conference League. I don't know. As far as I know, I think the 7th Conference League, isn't it? It was last season. It all depends, I think. Tony scored a belter yesterday. Yeah, he did. And Ivory Coast are winning, are they? Wow. That's a good result so far for the Ivory Coast winning. One player we've seen today come on for his club was, which I think he only got about 20 minutes, but at least he got some minutes, and that was Garan Kwal. He came on for Volendam today, even though they got absolutely mullered 5-1 from PSV. Feyenoord are winning at the moment against Sparta, and Yankuba Minty started that game and had 70 minutes for them. So he played 70 minutes, Minty. I think Ivan Toney gets better odds from the bookies. Giovanni Reina's a Mackham by birth, is he? Next season will be a totally different team with players back from loan and injury plus 102 signing. I think next season, look, in the summer, we need to have a bit of a clear out in the summer. These players that will come to the end of their contracts, get rid. Dummett, go. Ritchie, go. Lascelles, go. Gillespie, the keeper, go. We just need to get these players off the books, you know. Because if we want to be better than what we are now, we've got to start getting rid of some of these players and stop being sentimental. And that is the problem. And I see a lot of fans saying it like, with Dummett, oh, he's good in the dressing room. I don't care how good he is in the dressing room. If he's not playing, what is the point of having him? Get rid, you know, just get rid. Lascelles, yes, we know he played some good games for us this season. But is he the type of player that you want at that next level? No, he's not. So another one, buy in the summer. And I think Lascelles has probably already got a deal lined up. Who knows? Definitely need Tino and Barnes in the starting lineup, says Lee. If you remember, Barnes has just come back from an injury, so weighing that up, we just have to wait and see if he gets a starting berth next week. But he may well start next week. Maybe Murphy right, Barnes left, and Anthony Gordon up front. Because if Isak's not fit and Callum Wilson's not fit, then things don't look great, do they? Again, the injury crisis has hit us, and then you look at the fact is the transfer window as well. That's gone now. One thing Craig Hope did say. This is what Eddie said. Callum Wilson has a problem with a muscle in his arm. He calls it a slight concern, but doesn't think it's serious, says Eddie Howe. Jacob Murphy was unusable after feeling his cough in the warm-up yesterday. First thing yesterday. And Howe says he did really well to come through the game. I thought Anthony Gordon looked knackered by the end of it. In all honesty, I think he should have came off. So, yeah, but I thought he did okay, Anthony Gordon. But it's a worry going into next week if we haven't got a striker. And remember, Bournemouth, you know, they beat us down at their ground. And they're playing some good football. Yes, they got beat off Fulham yesterday, which I'm surprised because Fulham have actually scored some goals. Um, but look, we're at home. We should have enough to beat them, shouldn't we? Really, technically, we should have enough to beat them. You are right, Ronald. Yes, he was born in Sunderland, by the way. Though he never played for Sunderland. He started at New York City and then went to Borussia Dortmund. But yeah, means I say his father played for Sunderland, didn't he, Claudio Reyna? But look, we know Claudio Reyna wasn't a bad player either. Pretty good player in his day. But yeah, if Giovanni Reyna gets to be as good as he is, then I think there'll be a few clubs out there looking at him. David says, got to say new striker Tony, can't rely on Isak and Wilson again next season with their injury records. No, we can't, absolutely. Gary says, not about sentimentality, Tony. The club will have their plans this summer. Predict a big player and a shake. I think so too, Gary. I think because the Adidas deal's in, the sellout will be in them accounts. I think we could be in for a huge summer. I could even see Dubravka going in the summer as well. And now bring Mamardashvili in as a keeper. And I reckon, and I think when Pope's back, if he's back on time next month, I think Pope will walk straight back in that starting lineup, without a doubt. Because I think the defence trust Pope more than they trust Dubravka, if I'm honest. They don't look comfortable with Dubravka. We can get better forwards out there in the summer out of contract, yeah. Foxy says, Jacob Murphy getting injured in warm-ups now. Yeah, exactly, Foxy. I mean, look, he felt his cough. I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? You know, we've seen it before. It happens, doesn't it? That players get injured in a warm-up, and it's just unbelievable. But it's a way how our luck's going this season with injuries. But I definitely say if we get a replacement in, I think you sell Wilson in the summer. Paul says, totally agree, this summer will be massive. It'll be absolutely massive this summer. We need to make sure we finish in the European spot. That's the main thing. If we finish in Europe at Conference League, I ain't got a problem with that because that's a competition we could go out there and win. Let's be honest. So again, I'll be happy with Europa Conference. It all depends where we finish next season, because next season Eddie Howe's going to have to start being more ruthless and start realising and saying, right, okay, can't keep playing his favourites every time. Eddie has got to start being ruthless next season. Because for us to succeed as a club, if you look at other clubs, they don't seem to play this, like if you look at Man City, for instance, there's times, look, they've left Foden on the bench and had Grealish playing. And that's not because Pep Guardiola goes out there and says, well, he's not playing today because I don't want him to play, I want him to play. It's because he's looking at the team he's playing against and thinking, well, actually, I'm going to leave Foden out today because I think Grealish should be better against these than Foden will. And that's what Eddie Howe's got to start doing. He's got to start looking and thinking, right, okay, well, he can be better on against this one today than what he can be. And that's what he's got to start doing. Eddie's been in the game long enough and he's now got to start doing it, We need two strikers. Qual ain't going to make it, neither is Parkinson. I don't think... I'm not sure with Qual. He's only a young lad. We've got to give him time, Maybe send Qual to League One like we did with Anderson. I know Anderson went to League Two with Bristol Rovers, but made him into a better player. we didn't sign yet anyone to win because of FFP, but we'll have money to spend the summer, so no matter where we finish, we will do, Ronald, but we must finish in Europe because we need to keep Bruno at the club. We can't afford to lose Bruno. Right, anyway, without further ado, let's go into my top three for men of the match. Well, it's hard because, look, there wasn't a lot of great play yesterday, was there? So this is my so these are my picks anyway for yesterday. So I'll go in reverse order as I always do. So third place yesterday is Kieran Trippier. I thought he didn't play too bad yesterday, Trippier. The cross for Bruno's first goal, absolutely fantastic cross. We know he's got that ability. I don't think he had too bad of a game, to be fair, Trippier. It was hard to pick somebody else to put in third place. So for that cross alone and for that assist, I give it to Trippier. So he comes in third place. Second place is gone to Fabian Schär. I thought Schär took his goal really, really well. What a great goal it was. All round, I thought he had a good game, to be fair, Schär. Yes, he had a couple of moments in defence, but other than that, he was sound. He was there. So I see he got his goal. So for me, without a doubt, Schär is in second place because of his goal. But the man of the match, best player, one of the best midfielders in the world, I would say. Not just in the Premier League, but around the world. And it's this guy. And we're lucky to have him, Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes, I thought, was brilliant. Look, absolutely fantastic. 2 goals, playing as an attacking midfielder, looked absolutely fantastic. He's actually scored more goals for us than he ever did when he was at Lyon, which shows you where Lyon used to play him. But absolutely fantastic for us. And without a doubt, he's man of the match. And we're lucky to have him. And what a snip we got him for, 40 million, because that's starting to look like now. You look at 40 million and that's starting to look like a bit of a bargain, isn't it, really? Looks like we nicked him for nothing, literally. Look, for Lyon from 2020 to 2022, he had 56 games and only scored 3 goals. Since he's played for us, he's had 72 appearances and 12 goals. Says it all. It's his best scoring season. When he was at Atletico Paranaense from 2018 to 2020, he only got 5 goals and 66 appearances. So there you go. It just shows you, he's having his best time at Newcastle United at the moment. But Bruno, man of the match without a doubt, by a country mile. Gary says, did you notice the impact Barnes had been just on the pitch? Yeah, absolutely. If he's, I think Eddie's done it right. He's got to start next week, hopefully. It depends how he feels. Bruno man the match. Bruno second, Bruno third, says Gary. Well, I only put in Shaw second because of his goal. Foxy says, Super Bowl tonight. Only thing that's annoying is they call the winners the world champions. Yeah, I don't get this, Foxy. Look, I don't like NFL. Can't stand American football. It's not for me. And I don't mean that. So if anybody from America's watching this channel, I'm sorry. I don't mean it from there. What I'm saying is it's not my sort of sport. I don't watch it. I call it sissies rugby, if I'm honest, because I wear helmets and pads where rugby players don't. Look, to me, I don't get NFL. It's not for me. The Super Bowl crap, and then you have a half time, you have entertainment at half time, and then it goes on for a bit, and then it's like, not for me. I won't be sitting up watching that tonight. Just not for me. But I see what you mean, Foxy. It's madness. Bruno says, Julie, we shouldn't be we shouldn't be players with touch of injuries. Wonder how some players end up spending more time out there. Yeah, absolutely. Ronald says Bruno loves being loved. Yeah, surely that makes a difference. He loves a deserved adoration. Yeah, he does, Ronald, absolutely. And that's why he said he loves the fact that he's loved. He doesn't want to be here. Doesn't want to be anywhere else. He's home and his kids are Geordie's, absolutely. Lee says more big sponsors are better for us. Yeah. In the summer, they're looking to get the training ground sponsor. So sponsor the training ground. Looking to get a training kit sponsor as well. And the pre-match kit they wear to warm up in. They're looking for a sponsor for that as well. So look, there's another 3 sponsors that come in. They'll bring money into the club. And if there is a name change for St James's Park, we accept it. We have to. And what I would say is, look, if it was to be Aramco St James's Park, then so be it. I ain't got a problem with that, because St James's Park will always be St James's Park. Just putting a name in front of it, all it means is it brings extra money into the club and it generates the funds. And I know there is some fans out there who don't want the name change, but at the end of the day, look at the bigger picture. We're trying to get this FFP up. We're trying to generate the money into the club. What better way can we do it? By having somebody put their name in front of St James's Park. That's all we're saying. We're not saying St James's Park's going to disappear. That's what the owners have said. It'll never disappear. But they won't do it unless the fans want it. And I'm all for it. If it brings an extra £40 million a season in, that's another player, isn't it, through the door? That's what you got to look at. In the summer, we'll have Champions League money. Yeah, Julie, absolutely. Super Bowl, that's some sort of thing swingers meet up at. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they throw all the car keys in, don't they? I reckon our squad will be unrecognisable come next season. I think it will be as well. 3 trips, 2 share, 1 Bruno. Yeah. Saudi or Aramco at St James's Park. Absolutely, Julie. And do you know what? Look, I get people don't want to change, but you got to remember, the former owner changed it without consulting anybody. He just done it. He just, one day we were St James's Park, the next day we were the Sports Direct Arena. And it was like, what the hell is going on here? You know? You can't just change a name like that. But the owners have said they will keep St James's Park there. So it will be, if it's Aramco, if it's Saudi, you know, whoever it is, it'll be at or at St James's Park. So at the end of the day, St James's Park name will always be there. Even if it was Pepsi, say for instance, Pepsi St James's Park, it's still St James's Park, you know. The only difference is there's a name added to it. But that name will bring in a shitload of money, and that is what we need to start doing. We need to start getting them funds through the door. It has to keep this St James's Park. They will do, Ronald. Yeah, absolutely. Pics of the designs there for the potential new stadium. I've not seen them. Where are they, Julie? I'll have to have a look for them. They look amazing. Ivory Coast won. Bro, gosh. I think it's home territory as well, isn't it? So they've won it on the home territory. Pepsi Max at St James's Park, yeah. But I'm saying, no, Julie, it doesn't matter what the name is, as long as it's, you know, it's bringing money into the club, and that's what we've got to do. You know, too many. The problem is, it's under the previous ownership, he did not bother. Bringing funds into the club. Didn't bother generating funds. All right, no worries, Julie, thanks. Alan says then put up the old metal gate against the wall, as he said, as a peace offering for changing the name. Yeah. It was never going to happen, was it? You know? It was just absolutely awful when he done that. I didn't agree with it, and nobody agreed with it. And then he did sell the naming rights up for sale, but we never saw the money in the club. Wonga bought the rights, didn't they? And then they just said, right, it's St James's Park. and he couldn't do sod all about it, could he? Julie says he's an awful man. Yes, he is. I don't like to mention his name, Julie, but yes, he is an awful man. I'm glad he's well away from our club now. So pleased he's well away from this club. But as I say, I can't believe Man United winning today. I really thought Villa would have done something about that. Most rich businessmen are. Yeah, they are. Most of them are awful, aren't they, to be fair? But again, it's one of them. We just have to wait and see. But yeah, so look, we go on to Bournemouth next week, and we know that's going to be a tough game. So we'll just have to. But that's for another day. We'll do a review. We'll do a preview for that. Hopefully I can get Craig on. Bought up the Cherries and all departments. In fact, I'll message him later and ask if he's available this week. See if I can get Craig on. Do a match preview with him. And there will be a pre-match show next Saturday, so don't worry about that. That'll definitely be back next Saturday, so don't worry at all. I was disappointed yesterday. I didn't get back in time. But next Saturday it will definitely be back. The day we play Blackburn, I might be away. So what I'll do is I'll still probably try and do a show whilst I'm away. But I'll just have to work out the timings, because if I'm abroad, it's going to be a different time zone as well. Villa never beat Man U, says Julie. They don't, do they? But if I'm abroad, I'm hoping to watch that game. Well, I will watch that game, because what I'll do is, I'll use my VPN to see I'm in the UK, and then I can watch it on the BBC or whatever it's on, isn't it? BBC. I'm out drinking next Saturday, 10 a.m. till 3 a.m. Good luck with that one, beer. Don't want to see what kind of state you'll be in. Lee says, I start my new job tomorrow. Packed up the window cleaning in Berwick and all the surrounding areas. Just got sick of the weather being like this. What's your new job doing, Lee? Congratulations, by the way, and hope it goes well. Good first day for you. I don't blame you packing up the window cleaning, because when it's weather's like this, you don't want to be up ladders, do you? And as a window cleaner, I bet you've got some bloody good stories as well when you've been up in the ladders. Yes, it's Benidorm again, Tony. You know, Sticky Vicky's gone now. Yeah, she passed away, didn't she? No, I'm not going to Benidorm, mate. No, absolutely not. So don't worry about that. I'm definitely not going there. I'm not going to see where I'm going just yet, but I will do. I'll let you know. Prince Willie loves Villa. He does. It's your new job as Steeplejack, Lee. God. Yeah. I bet, like I say, window cleaners have had some stories, you know. Absolutely. It's I wouldn't want to be window cleaning this sort of weather. I wouldn't want to be going up ladders and when it's windy, or you can't do it when it's windy, can you? And that's the problem. It's more of a seasonal job, isn't it? I'm glad I live on just like one level, so and I clean my own windows, so it's not too bad. I don't need a window cleaner. We don't know what Lee's doing as a new job, Gary. I don't know if he's a steeplejacker or not. Probably not. But whatever Lee's doing on his job tomorrow, I wish him all the best and hope it goes well and hope he enjoys his job. although nobody enjoys going to work, but we got to go to work to pay the bills, and that's the reality of it. And the way the cost of living's going and things like that, retirement ages just keep going up and up and up, isn't it? So eventually you won't be able to retire. You just have to keep working. That's the way the world is now, isn't it? Unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, look, like I say, yesterday we got the win against Forest, which was absolutely brilliant. And at least we're in 7th place. And let's hope Palace can do us a favour tomorrow night as well. Lee says, all because that greedy Cockney Robin, get out and buy other shops that go under. Yeah, absolutely, Lee. What's your new job, by the way, Lee? Let us know what your new job is, mate. Yeah, what you're doing. Ronald says, war window cleaner when I was a young'un was a bottler. We all knew his son who was our mate. Ah, right, okay, yeah. We all know a window cleaner or two, don't we? So, yeah. But as I say, window cleaner, but you see some sites. Mag debate says, Wallace says, close the curtains. I don't want the neighbour seeing my naked body. I say, as if the neighbour sees naked body, they look like, oh, for God's sake, Jesus. I hope she doesn't watch this show, by the way, Mag. Oh, you're in trouble, mate. You're in trouble. Crin says, having a bit of a blizzard up, yeah. There'll be no window cleaning today. No. Absolutely. Ronald says, honestly, Tony, mental. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's, but yeah, I've heard stories from people and things like that, and it's just like, yeah. I heard one from somebody who worked on building, and I'm going back, what? He probably worked there he's probably talking about 40 years ago. So, and he said it was break time. He said when they were building houses, they went upstairs in the house, and he's like, well, why is everybody congregating in that room for at the back? And what it was, apparently you had to be up there you had to be up there quick to get a good view. And he says what it was, when he got to the window, on the other side there was a woman getting undressed, and she used to leave her curtains wide open, and that's why they were up there. And it used to be at the same time every day, so that's why they were always there. So yeah, so there is plenty of that going around stories wise. Bia says, my missus says, if I'm going to walk around naked, I should close the curtains because neighbours can see. I said, well, if they see me, they will close the curtains. On that note, guys, we are coming to the end of the show, but it's been a great show, and there won't be one tomorrow because I'm out playing for my darts team tomorrow night, so I won't be doing a show tomorrow, but I should be back doing something on Tuesday, so do look out for that on Tuesday. But if you have enjoyed what you've seen, please do smash that like. If you haven't yet smashed that like, please do give it a like, because it does help the channel, and it means new viewers can find it more easily. If you are brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe, come be part of this great community we have here, and also hitting that bell notification that tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. Max says, stop nicking me jokes, Bia. Yeah, you tell them. Oh, by the way, actually, Bia, I just want to say to you, Bia, while you're on, you were on the show the other night on the American Magpie. What day was it? It was when we'd done the preview for the Forest game. Now, after the show, backstage, your comment, apparently we're talking about it, and your comment got removed by Jules, the mod. And I think, did she ban you or something? I'm not sure what she's done, but anyway, we've told Chris to make sure if she has banned you, for him to unban you, and as far as I know, I think he has done. So next time the Magpies on, just see if you can comment and make sure it stays on. You should have no more problems, Bia. Chris is quite embarrassed by it, to be fair, because you didn't see anything wrong. So yeah, so Bia, that's an apology from Chris. He didn't realise that you were blocked until the end of the show, but we don't know why. And me and Billy both stuck up for you, and so did Ian as well, because we said, look, you're a good lad, and you are a good lad. So you should never have been blocked. So absolutely disgusting. Gary says if we get Europe this season, it's job done. Unless our competition be better for us, we'll be back in the schedule next season. Yeah, absolutely. Gary and cheers, mate. Thank you, and you take care. Take care, everyone. You too, Crane as well. Lee says, use the water for Paul. Tony started the sawmill with the agency. Nice one, Lee. That's the best way to do it. Do you know what? The best way to go on with an agency? I've done it before, been on an agency, got into a job and got a job full time, so, you can get them. Just because an agency, people think, oh yeah, well, it's only a temporary job, you'll only be there for a while. Great show, Tony. Cheers, Ian. Thanks, mate. Cheers, Tony Noel, says Lee. Cheers, mate. Jules is no longer a mod. Yeah, no problem. No worries. Yeah, you should never have been blocked anyway, mate. No one a mod on his channel now. I think because he's new, and I think he didn't realise what mods were, and I think he's got to sort them out. But I have told him who to put on Ian. So I've said you and Julie are brilliant. Neither is a sidekick. Yeah. I mean, look, I had a lot of trouble with them. As people know I did. And do you know what? I just don't know why they're like that. I worked on the site at Scotchy, about 20 lads watched the last getting ready. She knew exhibitionism. I turned up early, but she wasn't there long. Generally the case, isn't it? Julie says, hadn't been to Chris's channel for a while as he's late, but saw yesterday. All right, okay. I empower people through an agency after 12 weeks, take them on permanently if they're good and have the right attitude. That's the way to be, isn't it? Ian says she ignored me when she found out I knew you, Tony lol. That's what I'm saying. It's so bitter, isn't it? It's so bitter, and that's the thing, We are supposed to be Newcastle fans, and this is the thing that gets me, It's just, yeah, I don't get it, But I mean, if nobody knows what the story is, the reason I supposedly upset Jules was because when I was mod on John Sinclair TV, somebody put a bit of a violent comment in the chat, and Les, our sidekick, said, please don't put those sort of comments in, or next time you'll be banned. And I thought, well, why hasn't she removed the comment? Because if children are watching this, it's inciting violence. So take the comment off. So I deleted the comment. Then Jules in the chat said, why have you deleted that comment? And I said, because it incites violence. Yes, but Les had dealt with it, so you had no right to. And I said, well, yes, I have as a mod. I said, I'm a mod on the channel, and I'm taking the comment off, which I find inappropriate, especially if children are watching, so I'm not leaving it on there. You've got no right to do that. You're not in charge on there. I'm in charge on this channel, not you. And you have to abide by my rules. And I said, no, I do not. And then it led to cut a long story short, I got a lot of trolling off her, and she threatened to bring my channel down, to get my channel taken off air. And she had people trying to report my channel just for anything, just to get it taken off YouTube altogether. And my channel hadn't been going that long either. But she is a very bitter person, so I would just, look, I've tried to make peace before with her. I tried to apologise when she asked me to apologise. I did, and she just ended up blocking me. So I thought, you know what, stuff you. Certain channels are very authoritarian, high on their own authority. I mean, look, I've got great mods in here. I've got great viewers who come on here. I've got not only great viewers who come on here who are Newcastle fans, I've got great viewers who are different fans of clubs. I've got Daniela, who's a West Ham fan, and I know gets on well with Julie in the chat because both from Essex. Trevor comes on, the Leeds fan. He's absolutely brilliant. I've had other fans come on the channel, and I haven't got a problem with other fans coming on the channel. If they misbehave, they'll be removed. Simple as. But, majority of people who come on here, everybody who comes on here, it's fine. Yes, we might get the odd dickhead who comes on now and again, but they get blocked. But we very rarely get that on here. Everybody I get coming on here are brilliant. And as I say, yes, we do get the odd knacker that comes on, but as I say, you get rid of them. But most of the time, we're absolutely fine on here, and nobody will beat me. He says, seen plenty of funny sights, mate. Ronald says, my comments were deleted on Steve Wraith, same mods. There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Great show tonight, Tony and all. Yeah, cheers, Lee. I mean, I know John's got them on his channel as mods as well. Still. I seem to be linked with a lot of your YouTube issues, Tony. Yeah, honestly. I'll never get over that Paul Gallant one. Yeah. Image rights. Oh, Jesus, honestly, that guy. And then for him to say that I never actually spoke to him. And it was nice to see that actually I had some my viewers went on his channel and commented. But it was funny how when they were putting on comments that I had actually spoke to him, he was deleting their comments off. It's just unbelievable. Ronald says, oh yeah, and Les went on a rant about she never seen football violence and just went to Marlborough Station after the match in the 70s and 80s. Bollocks, man, absolutely. Same with Toon Review. We have Jimmy, the West Ham fan, and King Hoddle, the Spurs fan. And they're well behaved, absolutely. Everyone knows be on their best behaviour when you're on, Julie. But that's the thing, like I say, we're like a community here. We have a great little community here. Yes, obviously wanted to grow even more, and eventually it will grow more. And to be honest with you, we're a friendly channel here, and best way to be. Ronald says on that people who are involved, but from the rave generation, I suspected the hooligan stuff was aimed at me. Macca says, does that Sinclair still have a channel? He used to be okay. Yeah, he still has a channel. I used to be on there with him. I used to be a co-host with John, and I looked after his channel for a week. And that's when I had a lot of people saying why I didn't have my own channel. That's how I started up my own channel. But before I started my own channel, I even had the respect to say to John Sinclair, look, I'm going to start my channel, John. Would you be fine with that? And he said, yeah, absolutely. He says, you go for it. You go for it. Unfortunately, I don't go on his channel now because of said mods don't want me on there. Jules and Les. I remember one day I went on Pete Proudlock's channel. I was doing the match review with him, and Les was in the chat on his channel. And the minute I came on the channel, Les went, I'm going by, and disappeared and never came back. That's how petty some people actually are, And I just thought, fair enough. That's how people want to be. Let them be like that at the end of the day, But anyway, As I say, we're at the end of the show now, but it's been a great show. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash the subscribe either. And I shall be hopefully back on Tuesday with another show. Until then, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it, and don't get the Monday blues tomorrow. But until then, remember, the future's bright, the future is definitely black and white, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye for now. How are you, the lads?